Hey up, me ducks. How we doing? It's good to see everybody. That time of the day where I can sit down with a cuppa and chat with friends. It's been a long time coming today. 7 p.m. Got up this morning and it was like, I think it was about 6:30. It was like 12 and a half hours till I go live. So I ended up recording a video this afternoon, which will premiere tomorrow. But let's give a hello and a welcome to everybody. There's been people in here waiting and chatting. So first one in was the lovely Caroline. How are you, Caroline? Nice to see you. And we've got our caveman. We've got Frank. And we've got Sandra. Marlene. We have Mossy. Hello, Mossy. Nice to see you. And it's just jumped. So I hope I haven't missed anybody out there. Patrice, hello Patrice, hope you're well. We have Indira and Susie and Anne. Hello, Anne. We also have Robin from Toadstool Tarot. I see you, Robin. And Fox with a book. Chris from Elemental Cartomancy. Hello, Chris. Raven Glands. Hello, Raven Glands. Nice to see you again. Hope you're doing well. And we have Intuitive Renee. Nancy. Jenna. Hello, Jenna. Lovely to see you. Geraldine. Emerald. Emerald Fern. Maharet. Nice to see you, Maharet. Oxmika. Tortoise Shell Moon, nice to see you. Looking forward to this week. I'm looking forward to tonight as well. We have Trisha and Douglas and Emma and Kim, the lovely Kim, whose birthday it was this week. Happy belated birthday. I'm only saying belated. I know I wished you a happy birthday on the day, but yeah, happy birthday for in the week. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? And we have Sean. Nice to see you, Sean. Marsha. So many people here. Jamie. Hello, Jamie. Shauna. Hi, Shauna. Alicia. Donna. Wow, so many people. Lily. Misty. And Aspasia. Beth, how are you? So, yes, that's everybody. So I've had a real hermit kind of day today. I didn't set an alarm, although I think I've said this before, 7 days a week, my clock radio goes off for 2 hours. So there's music playing. I was conscious that there was music playing, but also conscious that it was a Saturday and I had no plans whatsoever today. I've not even left the flat. I haven't got out my pajama bottoms. I've had a long soak in the bath. I've started watching a series on BBC iPlayer. I've made some calls. I've cooked something nice to eat for dinner, and I've just really chilled out. And it was so lovely to be able to do that. Hi, Sheila and Joe. Hello, Joe. And Christina's here as well. Lots of people still coming in. A hermit day. I thought you said a Kermit day. There is a tarot card, isn't there, with Kermit the Frog? holding a lantern. It says the Kermit. I remember seeing that somewhere. I think it's done the round a few times over the years. Hermit days are good, Sam. They are good for the soul. And I've got a pretty full-on day tomorrow, and the next few weekends are quite busy. So it was just nice to think I could just do whatever I want, and if I don't want to do anything, I'm not going to do it. And so that's what I did. Sounds like you totally embrace the day too. Sounds wonderful. Yeah. Hello, Emma. Nice to see you. Someone saying hello to Dan as well, but I don't know if that's a different Dan because I didn't see our Dan come in, although could have done and slipped by. But yes, hello to everybody who's here. So how's everybody doing? How's your day been or going. I know some people it's still halfway through the day. Some people it's Sunday, and others like me, it's Saturday evening. I've got a cuppa, just my usual coffee with oat milk. I got a new weird deck today as a reward after a doctor's visit. Do you have the Dante Tarot? I've heard of the Dante Tarot. Is it a couple of years old? I do remember hearing the Dante Tarot. Bizarre, but beautifully strange. Doesn't really fit RWS, so it should be an adventure. Well, the deck that I'm going to be sharing today doesn't fit the RWS as well, so that's quite on point. Pamela's had a hermit day too. No internet this morning. I'm glad it came back up. Don't we feel lost when the internet goes down? It's like, you know, even or you go to somewhere, like I went to my friends a couple of Sundays ago, and they live out in the Derbyshire Dales, and where they live in the village, there's no internet, no phone signal, sorry. And it's like, it's a few hours we can cope, but I get all sort of, oh, I've got no internet access. Jenna's eating banana bread mug cake for brekkie. That sounds nice. A tiring but rewarding day. Hours spent restoring an old Davenport desk. You're so creative, Anne. Dante Tarot of Los Carabeo. She's going to make some hot chocolate. I've just decided whether to part with my Paulina Tarot or keep it and try and connect with it. I would say if you're in that state of not sure what to do, pop it somewhere. This is how I was with the Mary Owl when I first bought it. I wasn't ready for it. I kept thinking I was going to pass it on. I even put it up in a trade group, and it fell through. And then I just kind of put it to the back of the shelf. And then 6 months later, I watched Elle from Sacred Seeds walk through of it, and I was like, I'm going to give that deck a go. And I've got all 4 versions of Mary Owl. So I do think that decks speak to us at different points. And the time might not be right now, but it may be in the future. And that's another reason when people say to me, why do you have so many decks? Because I look at my decks and I just think, what shall I work with today? You know, and I look and a deck will speak to me and I'll pull it off the shelf. So I like having the choice. Kelly Tao Carter, nice, or is it Toe? Is it pronounced Tao or Toe? But Kelly, anyway, welcome from Western Kentucky. Nice to have you here. Kim was gifted the Uncommon Tarot, a pretty collage deck. Yeah, Kim from Abundant Life Tarot gifted me the Uncommon Tarot, and I bought the Uncommon Tarot for Elle for their birthday a few weeks ago. So it is an unusual deck. I'm not usually somebody that's into collage. Collage are probably my least favorite style of decks, but that one is done really well. Beth is trying to approach the William Blake Tarot. I've put it on the shelf for now. For now, I'm eyeing it like it's a rabid raccoon. That's funny. I brought and gave away the Wildwood so many times I've lost count. Well, that's the theme of today's chat. As you may have seen from the title, I popped it in. Hi, Patsy. Patsy's given away so many decks and then rebrought them. So we're kind of getting to the topic right away. But just before we talk about a deck that I rebought, I did say the other day, if you watched my video, I can't remember which one it was. I did a video in the week. My mind. I know. Let's have a look. The Modern Love Tarot. I did a video of. And I was sent a surprise gift, which was a real shock because a couple of weeks ago, I showed you this deck, which is by Tarot by 7. And this is the Solar Booster revisited, and it's the 3.0 edition. And I went for the borderless artwork. There are numbers on there version, and it's done using the the artwork from the Solar Booster, but manipulated to fit an RWS system, so you can read it. Because the Solar Booster is probably one of the most difficult decks to work with, in my opinion. I know people leave comments now saying I work with it and I don't have a problem, but I'm talking about in my opinion. And this is the deck that inspired, or is believed to have inspired Pixie when she illustrated the pips for the RWS Tarot. So I got this and I did a review. I'm going to walk through. I've edged it as well. I'm really pleased with the colour edging because it really matches the backs perfectly. And I love this deck. It's here on my table because it's one of 3 decks that I'm working with at the moment. And then there was a knock at the door the other night. It was about 8 o'clock at night. And that's usually my neighbour to say he's taking in a package. And it was. And I thought, well, I'm not expecting anything. And then there was this, which is the different design back. Now, I've seen Marsha from Musings by Marsha. Her Solar Booster Revisited had these backs. I didn't choose that back. It just came like it. And then she put in some other little bits. And there's this bookmark. It's 3D. Was 3D show on film? Should do, shouldn't it? On film, on camera. Anyway, it's a 3D bookmark. And then she's had printed onto the bookmark this little note. And it just says, Simon, you surprised me yesterday, so I thought I'd surprise you. And she just goes on to say, I want to thank you for the kind video. I do appreciate it. And she says she's made a bifold. So there was this other little envelope. Well, there's 3 envelopes. 3 envelopes here. And in each one are these... actually, I don't know why there's 3 envelopes, because there's 2. Oh, one had the bookmark in, of course. Actually, I'm getting a bit confused here because the 2 are the same. It shows I should have looked at this. They're both the same. So this one starts with the 4 of Cups. You see? 4 of Cups. And then this one also has the 4 of Cups. So I'm not quite sure, but they don't open up. I'm not quite sure how this is meant to work. And then on the back, it goes 4 of Cups, 9 of Cups, 2 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands, 9 of Wands, 6 of Wands. For more insight into this deck, see the Solar Booster page at Tarot by 7. On the front, it says, although this deck leans towards RWS, there are a few images that may require additional clarification. A complete list of images and more detailed explanation of each card can be found at Tarot by 7 on the Solar Booster page. So maybe this is just explaining some changes to those particular cards. I'll need to have a look or speak to, let's just say, 7 stars, goes under that name. Also enclosed, made a Bible with some card interpretations for the images that don't play nice with the RWS. I should have read it fully, shouldn't I? Instead of jumping ahead. Because I opened this the other day and I thought I'm going to save this until Saturday when it's called catch up. I'm offering it with the deck on my website for $1. Because if I don't charge something, I'll forget to include it. I do hope you'll play around with this deck. It has become my go-to deck, even over Deck of the Bastard. So Tarot by 7 is the creator of Deck of the Bastard. So there's 2 for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but I got 2. So that was lovely. But it was such a nice surprise. So this version that's been sent has got the keywords. Let's grab the scissors. Whereas the one I opted for didn't Didn't have any titles or words. I went with the borderless, um, full images. Linen cardstock. That's really nice. So this one has linen cardstock. Not sure if that will show up on this type of, probably won't on this type of camera. It would if I was filming down with my iPad. These are the backs, which are really lovely. And then we get a title card. If you do want to catch my attention, tag me or, yeah, dirty bastard. Was that you last night, Sheila, in Becca's chat? Sheila made the mistake of calling Decca the Bastard the Dirty Bastard. She got her dirty pants and a Decca the Bastard mixed up. That was really funny. So there's a card right in here about Solar Booster Revisited 3.0. And yeah, this one has borders. So I guess if you're learning tarot, this would probably be a better option to go for. So you can see on the sides it says the Fool, and then at the top it says beginnings. So the Fool, and then there's also a reverse meaning. So you have folly. See there? Folly, with a reverse meaning if you read reversals, beginnings. So it's just a keyword. I think the artwork in this deck is just gorgeous. And I love the style of the Solar Booster, so I'm just so pleased that I can read it, see my name tag. Oh my gosh, I made it to a live. Hello to all cavers. Hello, Sarah. I'm Alexi Rene on Facebook group, so happy to be here. Is that how you say your name? Alexi? Well, I'm glad you was able to make it. So, welcome. Hi, Jonathan. Yes, it is. It's such a beautiful deck. Do you have it? I can't remember if you said you had it or not, but stunning. I mean, it's very graphic. Look at this for justice. It says fairness at the top and underneath dishonesty. Here's our death card, which is endings. With the moon, illusion and bewilderment. So anyway, I was really chuffed. And if you do watch this, I keep wanting to use a proper name, then thank you. Thank you for your kindness and generosity. It was really, really nice. The Dirty Bastard has a good ring to it. Yes, I think it's probably going to stick, just like the Dirty Pam did. Okay, so discussion time. Have you, and some people have already said, have you ever had a deck, didn't connect with it, or tried to work with it, just wasn't feeling it, gave it away, sold it, exchanged it, whatever, and then regret it further down the line, is the question. I've been geeking out on the Lost Tarot the last few days, and now I don't have that deck. The Lost Tarot. I'm not sure I know what one that is. Yes, goes into the Dirty Pam. I have bought decks so many times. Which ones, Sandra? So the first one for me was the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Duggan, and I bought that very early on and couldn't connect with it. And then I got the Green Witch Tarot, which I really like. That's up there, and the Everyday Witch, and and then I got the Wizard's Tarot. And I thought, you know what? I wish I hadn't got rid of the Witch's Tarot because it kind of makes a nice set. So I ended up buying that again. I have modded decks, then regretted it and rebought them. Right. Yeah, see, I bought 2 2 copies of a deck, modified one and not the other. So that I've got a modified copy and an unmodified copy. I haven't wanted to replace any that I've given away, out of sight, out of mind. I gave the Alan Douglas Witches away. No, I have never had to repurchase a deck, mainly because I don't give them to begin with. Ah, yep, regretted giving my first RGB away 30-ish years ago. Oh, I would die, but I get it. At the time, it's a new deck, isn't it? It's only with the passage of time does it become a deck where we're like, "I shouldn't have given that away." Mary Owl, Dark Angels, Dreams of Gaia, the mini one. You give away the mini one. So, where is my mini? I should have got that out, really, the mini. Um, at one time as well, I knew exactly where every deck was, and not so much anymore. But the deck that I'm going to talk about tonight is the Dreams of Gaia. So I had this, um, gosh, when I first started a channel, I got this, and it's a non-traditional tarot, and I think because I came into the community, um, I might have even had it before I started the channel, either just before I started the channel or just after. But you know what it's like when you first find YouTube, TarotTube. There is that kind of you see every deck and you're like, it's almost like you're playing catch up. Certainly how I um, felt, that I was playing catch up. And this was a system that intrigued me, and it still does, particularly again now, hence why I rebought it. It's a system that really intrigued me, but I didn't have the time to dedicate to really understanding and working with it. I think I just saw Capital. And it's Cassandra. Um, it's an amazing deck, Simon. Yes, exactly. And I've got the mini, and I thought to myself, although I can't see it, and if I don't want to go away from, because I could be there a long while trying to find it, but I've got the mini somewhere, and the mini is beautiful as well. But I missed having the full size and the book because the book is incredible with this. And I gave this away to Mr. BCC, Mr. Brian Cormac Carr, at our first tarot meetup back in 2019, I think it was. So almost 3 years ago. And at the time, I was like, yeah, does anybody want this? Because I'm not going to work with it. I've learnt my lesson. There's a couple of decks at the moment that are on the shelf, and I'm like, with the exception of Fountain, anybody can have that. Kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to keep you or give you away. I think now, because I end up buying decks back, I'm just going to leave them, like I say, at the back of the shelf. And if they call to me, then it saves having to rebuy them. The only deck I've got rid of, and I don't think I'll ever regret, famous last word, or buy back, was the English Magic Tarot. When that deck was released back in 2017, everybody was going on about it, and there's all these secret codes, and you can join these Facebook groups, and they're decoding it, and and I was getting really into it, and the card stock was appalling, and some cards had borders, and others didn't have borders, and I just hated it, hated it. It's the only tarot deck I think I can honestly say I hate. So I don't think I'd ever buy that. I'm dying to know what Simon considers on the shelf. What do you mean? In what sense? On the shelf, the tarot shelf. So this has a beautiful, I feel I should have perhaps done a throwback Thursday. I've not done one of them for a while, but it's a really nice box. It is by Reinventing, and I think it was released. Oh, this says this print in 2020. But 2017 was its release, and that was when there was a lot of to do about it. Now, the way that this tarot system works is it's not 78 cards. I think it's 80, 81 or something like that. But it breaks the minor suits are the elements, so water, air, fire, earth, etc. And the courts are a little bit different. There is a king and a queen, but the page is like a balance card to do with balancing energies. And then the knight, which isn't called a knight, is kind of like an advisory card to the king and queen. And then the major arcana is split up into 4 sections, even though the first section is 1 card on its own. The rest aren't. The rest are in groups of 8. So you get 8, 16, 24, 25 major arcana cards. And the first one is choice. It's the choice card, which is supposed to be the most important card within the Dreams of Gaia deck. And then the rest follow the different kind of stages of existence of life. So you get, well, we'll come on to it. You get a little piece of paper to protect the book as you open it up. This is the inside. The book and everything is beautiful. It's quite a nice thick book. You get this gold embossed in on the book. The ones you just mentioned are on the shelf, considering getting rid of. Yes, they're on the shelf. Yeah. They're all on the shelf, really, but it's almost like the back of the shelf. I love this quote from the back as well: to seek, to feel, to grow, to heal. I don't know if anybody's got the Messenger Oracle, which is also by Reinventing, and that's just had a revamp, and it's been re-released on matte cardstock. I love Reinvent's artwork. There's a lot of information in these books. You just get a black and white thumbnail. So how does it break it down? Let me just see if I can remember. So the first 0 is choice. Yes. So then you go through the second grouping, which is of 8 cards, is the stages of life. So it starts off with child and maiden, youth. They're kind of on a par with each other. Mother, father on a par with each other. And then when you get to the card number 9, you then go from stages of life into reasons of being. So you'd have things like, where are we? Knowledge, wisdom. You know, we're here to gain knowledge, to gain wisdom, healing, love, union, self, abundance. And then the last grouping of 8 is influences. So that's the system it basically follows. So it's a non-traditional, doesn't follow RWS, it doesn't follow Marseille, Toth, etc. However, and I've seen people who've used Dreams of Gaia before, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, oh, well, if we've got love, that's the lovers, which is card 12. But don't, because card 13 is union. So love is talking about the universal energy of love, you know, love for self, love for our environment, for each other. The union card talks more about that coming together. And you might see, you know, there's a death and rebirth card, which is card number 8. But it does its own thing. And at the time, I found it quite challenging with working with lots of different tarot decks. Now I think I'm ready to really start and deep dive into it. I have the first edition of Messenger Oracle. I'm tempted to get the new edition of the Messenger with the new Seeker Oracle and blend them together. Yeah, mine is the first edition. I don't think I've got that anymore, though. I think it was one of the Oracle decks that I gave away, because I've given away nearly 100 Oracle decks, which is kind of linked to what tomorrow's video is about, because it's about my favorite 10 oracles. And if you know me, I don't, you know, don't shout about oracles that often. But the last time I did a top whatever for oracles was 5 years ago this May, and I've never really done anything about oracles since because I'm more about the tarot. But these are the decks that I don't want to part with, and I grab and use and talk about the way that I use them. Um, what do you think about reinventing the wheel with new systems? I think it's absolutely fine. If if we didn't, we wouldn't have the RWS. If you think about it, or the Toth, really, um, the tarot was well. I know there's different schools of thoughts about it going back to Egypt and everything else. I don't subscribe to that. But this was a game for aristocracy, for royalty, for dignitaries, and kind of given as wedding gifts and souvenirs, and it became a game like anything, dice, dominoes. We as people who like to divine will use things for divination. It's only a matter of time before people start. Yeah, yeah, I was going to say with like lentils, but people do. Somebody over here who reads asparagus tips. Nothing wrong with it. I'm going off on a tangent. If we just kind of stuck with the traditional Marseille, then we wouldn't have had the RWS. So why not, for this age, come up with different systems? It's whatever works. I don't think Marseille and RWS will ever die away in favor of a new system, but there's room for it, definitely room for it. And we have to remember that all tarot decks are oracle decks anyway, not in the sense that, tarot has its own structure and an oracle doesn't, but what is an oracle? An oracle is somebody or something that you go to for, sage advice, knowledge, guidance, and that's what the tarot is as well. I guess, if there are too many systems, it could be confusing to some people. I do remember, and it was this deck actually, and there was a lady I used to work with, and she was getting interested in the tarot, and I said to her, "Just go down to the, I think it was Waterstones suggested, and get a tarot deck, whatever you're drawn to." And when she came back, she went, "I bought a tarot deck, and it was Dreams of Gaia," and a part of me kind of went, "Ugh," because it's its own system. But I don't work there now, so I don't know if she still uses it, but she was reading the book and learning it, and I just thought, "Well, why not?" Who am I to say what somebody should learn first? Um, I think if I remember rightly, the Dreams of Gaia purports, and this isn't gilded, this isn't, I think the first edition had plain black backs and gold gilding, but this one doesn't. But if I remember, the Dreams of Gaia purports to be like a bringing the tarot into the modern world or something like that. And I don't necessarily subscribe to that because I think, the tarot, whether that's Marseille or RWS, is just as relevant now as it was 100 years ago, 500 years ago. So on the back, because it says, yeah, tarot for a new era, the philosophy of the Dreams of Gaia is simple: to seek, to feel, to grow, to heal. This deck will strengthen your connection to the divine self whilst helping you identify and heal past experiences that hold you back from living your fullest potential. Learn to recognize when times of growth and change are approaching, and face them with confidence and a sense of anticipation. Learn when to take action or when to be still. Learn to trust in your intuition. By offering structure in the form of a major and minor arcana like that of past tarots, but combining them with bold new archetypes, symbology, and meanings more suited to the present, And I think that is the bit, more suited to the present. I think it can add, it's another voice, but I don't necessarily think it's better or worse, I think it can complement. Um, Dreams of Gaia Tarot allows for a more personal, intimate, and effective system for using cards as a roadmap to navigate your life path. Embark on this extraordinary journey of undoing, of being, and becoming, and be inspired by the knowledge that all that manifests in your future is born of choices you make today. And I absolutely agree with that. And that's why they have the choice card in here, which is card 0, which they say is kind of like everything starts with a choice. Every decision we make, every direction we go in, it's all about the choices that we make. We are the sum of our life experiences because of choices we've made. Would be nice with black edging. Yes, I was just thinking that actually, because it's got a black back, there's certainly a black border, and on the front, you can't go wrong, can you? Even if it bled. I don't know if I've got any black Sharpies or Winsor & Newton pens. So I may have to pick one up tomorrow. That can be tomorrow's project. There's a little band on there. They're a nice size card. They are bigger than a traditional RWS tarot, bigger and wider, as you can see. So they're kind of like an oracle shape, or maybe Tarot of She type shape. This is by, I was going to say Rockpool. It's not Rockpool, it's Blue Angel, by Blue Angel Publishing. You can buy metallic black markers. I don't think you can buy them over here, but I have seen people buy them. I'm just a bit nervous with metallics because, Chris, you mentioned the other night on your live as well on Thursday about how you'd edged your light seers in a metallic green, and it looks stunning. What you said about how it was coming off on your fingers, that's the same with my Pagan Otherworlds in the metallic blue. I think it's finally stopped coming off, but it was a couple of years, but only if I was handling them for a long period of time. I've looked and I've got kind of blue pen on my hands. The tarot card finish looks like it might be easier to shuffle than the mini, which clumped for me. Yeah, maybe. So it's a nice thick deck. I'll show you the images. You may have seen them before, but there's always people here that haven't. Artwork is gorgeous. I love the kind of the Celtic pagan feel to this deck. Really gorgeous. What I'm going to do, I think, first though, is put them into the groupings. So there is 4 groups for the major arcana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some of them are sticking together. So this is a good way to kind of prize them apart. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, Candy loves this deck so much. Have you got this version? Have you got the mini version, Candy? I'm worried about some cards sticking together because they are quite sticky. They're a little bit glossy. I wish they'd re-released it in a matte cardstock like they did with the mini. But the cardstock is really nice. I keep thinking there's one sticking together. I've lost count. I can't talk. Oh, yeah, that's right, because then it starts with the minors. The minors are color-coded as well, which are stunning. So we have the first group in, which is a card of 1, which is choice card. Now, I'm going to have a look just to remind myself. I mean, like I said, everything starts with a choice. And there's a lot written about this. So you do get quite a bit of information. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of information. but it says the keywords. So it's card 0: choice, options, opportunity, free will, self-determination, mindfulness, manifestation, cause and effect, reward, consequence, and procrastination. And then you get some key phrases as well. In fact, you get 12 key phrases. Choice creates reality, which is absolutely true. Belief is choice. Belief is a choice. Inaction is a choice. The choice is yours. Determine your direction. The past has influence. Choice offers reward or consequence. Weigh your options. Choose wisely. Stop procrastinating. Be responsible for your choices. Awareness empowers. So quite a powerful card. It says, all that you are, all that you have learned and experienced is born of choice. It's funny how I remembered that, that when I said about everything that's happened to us, everything that we've experienced has been down to choice. The choices you have made, the choice others have made on your behalf, or choices they have made for themselves that have impacted on or influenced your life. You may believe that you have no choice, but that in itself is a choice. You may also exercise your right to allow others to decide for you. This too is a choice. That's just the first paragraph. There is pages for this meaning, which is just wonderful. And this book is written beautifully. And it was one of the main reasons why I wanted to buy this deck again, even though I'd got the pocket version or the miniature version. Simon has a video on edging. I do. There is a video on edging, but I've also done modifying a deck where I show edging, well, trimming, edging, and corner rounding. And that was when I worked with the Crystal Visions Tarot, which was last May, that was. I really like that thought. Everything starts with a choice. It's very profound. It is, Sarah, very profound. And when you really sit and think about it, even when you think, well, that wasn't really my choice, it was still somebody's choice. It was still down to a choice. All the things that are happening in the world at the moment are down to choices that people have made. So choice is the first grouping of the major arcana. What I really like as well that Raven Phelan does really beautifully is she does work very strongly with the elements, but also numerology. So even if you're thinking, well, this might be a bit of a stretch, learning a new system, I'm just getting my head around Marseille or RWS or top, if you've got the numerology down, which I've always used when working with Marseille, you won't go far wrong with this deck either, because she really does work with numerology, as well as, the elements play a beautiful part. So the next grouping is the stages of life. Okay. So in the stages of life, we're starting off with the child. Look how gorgeous that card is. And then we have the maiden and the youth. Okay. Both gorgeous energies. This one kind of reminds me like it's out of Druidcraft. It's got a Druidcraft kind of feel to it. But look, the little rabbit there. And then there's lots of Celtic detail. Again, it's glossy, and I've got a ring light, and this camera on a laptop, my MacBook, isn't brilliant for picking out detail. But there's like stone masonry work there. Do you see that Celtic design, this cross? That appears a lot in the deck. There's like Celtic knotwork. It's just stunning. So that is card 2. What's this one? the child. Right, let's keep them in order. Simon. Then we have the youth. Such gorgeous cards. They really are. They're just not ideal for showing with it being glossy. It would have been better to show these if they'd been matte. The backs and all, I don't know if I really showed you the backs, but I think that's a stunning card back. Really beautiful. I'm tilting it so you don't get this kind of reflection. Then we have mother and father. So we get them together. And there's so many animals. Again, do you see the tablet of stone behind her with the Celtic design? The father has like a Triskeli behind him. He's also is wearing a crown with horns on it. They're not coming out of his head. He's not a horned god or anything, but you know, he's wearing that headpiece. Ben, hello Ben. Nice to see you. That's calling you Big Ben. Is there something we should know? Then we have crone. So again, we have like different stages here because this is, you know, the stages of life. So if we've got mother, remember we had maiden earlier. So we've got maiden, mother, and then we have crone. The maiden, mother, crone are in there. They're not in that order. There are other cards in between, like youth and father. But just as we've got maiden, mother, crone, and we've got youth, father, and sage, what the book tells you, and I remember this, is that you know you don't have to be a particular gender to identify with the sage. You don't have to be male. The same ways you don't have to be female to identify with the energy of crone or the archetype of crone. It might depict certain genders, but they're, you know, that's not the case. And then what comes after crone and sage? We get death and rebirth. So the cycle begins again. We've got this cosmic egg here. I like the three schools. So that's the stages of life. And then we go into the next grouping, which is the reasons of being. So the first one is knowledge. Isn't that a gorgeous image? Oh, I love it. There's like a dog looking up to him, but it's actually part of the masonry work. The detail in these cards, beautiful. Card 10 is wisdom. We get a very hermity looking card here. And again, like I said, we tend to map across to the system that we're familiar with. You know, and if you pull this card and you see the hermit is a wise one anyway. There's nothing wrong with that. Look at the bear skin that the hermit is wearing over the cloak, and that gap into the through the cave, the night sky. Again, there's lots of little stones, standing stones with engravings on them. Now I want to run to my witchy shop and get the mini. Do it, Jenna, do it. The mini is beautiful. The thing with the mini is they are borderless images, so they're not that small actually. So you still get a lot of image, but you don't get the titles at the bottom, you just get symbols. Then we get healing. I wish I could find it. Just put my hand on it so I could show it you. just to give you a comparison, really. What the more I'm looking, the more I can't see it. So yes, we have love and we have union. That's what I was saying earlier. So love, when we talk about love, in fact, I'll just put the book. Where have I put the book? Did I put it back in the box? No, right in front of me. Right in front of me. So if we look at love, I won't read all the keywords because we know keywords for love. I'll just read the first paragraph of the meaning. The fourth reason for being is to experience love in all its forms, from codependent and need-based love to big, unconditional, universal love. And to understand that love comes in many different forms and guises. There is the innocent, trusting love that a child has for a parent, and the unconditional love a parent has for a child. There is the love one has for self, the love one has for others. There is the love we feel when we do the things we love, and the love we feel when others appreciate what we do. There is our love for family, love for community, love for nature, love for the gods we choose to worship, whether those gods be born of science or religion, or the humans we choose to idolize. There is sexual love, platonic love, playful, affectionate love, selfless love, crazy love, and more. And that's just the first paragraph. So I love this book. So that is our card for love in all its forms. And as I've said many times, I think that, the universe is a universe of love. We don't always connect with it as a species, as a race, the human race, but the universe is the universe of love. And then we have union, okay, which is gorgeous. But these two dragons, I know they're not, well, they're kind of half and half. Beautiful Celtic knotwork there. Look at that. So the union card symbolizes unity and wholeness. It represents our relationship with ourselves and our relationship to the world around us. It represents the harmony that arises when we are in alignment within and with both the seen and the unseen worlds around us. To achieve this centered state is our fifth reason for being. Who am I? What is my purpose? Why am I here? Self-inquiry puts our feet upon the path to wholeness. It is part of our life quest. And only in asking questions and seeking answers do we become whole. It's a journey that manifests in self-discovery. Then we have the self. And this is, this is a reason for being, is to really get to that point where we are comfortable in our own skin. We are comfortable with who we are. And that takes a lot of work, a lot of self-discipline, a lot of not giving an F, and just really sitting back and just appreciating who we are. And there's nothing nicer than, and this is what's really come through for me today. I started this live by talking about, thank you, Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but you've said love the images. Today was a hermit day, and I've really enjoyed today, and I've enjoyed my own company. And I think that takes time, up until quite the last 10, 15 years, I never lived on my own. I was either in, growing up in a family or I flat shared with people. I was in kind of a commune once where there was about 6 of us living in this 3-story house. Then I was in relationships and living with people. And I remember the first time that I found myself on my own, I was really uncomfortable with it. Now, I really enjoy spending time on my own and being on my own and pleasing myself and doing my own thing. But it does take work. We have abundance, which is card 15. Again, beautiful, beautiful image. I believe the energy that is the glue that holds the universe together is love. The more we love, the greater the wholeness. Yeah. I just wish more people connected with that universal energy, really, particularly if they're thinking of choices again that they're going to make. Dreams of Gaia is a little too colourful for my taste. I prefer more or less monochromatic decks. I think there's certainly a place for monochromatic decks. I've got a few myself, but colour is also really important to me. And then we have destiny, and a part of this image is what's on the front of the book and the box. So we have the destiny card. So we've got the choice card, then we've got our stages of life, and then we've got our reasons for being. So the next grouping of major arcana, the next 8 cards, are the influencers. What is it that influences? You love that you can wander about in your pants and watch whatever shit TV you want, free of judgment. Absolutely. Absolutely. I said at the beginning, I've been in my pajamas all day today, and I don't care. This is beautiful. One of my favorite cards. This is the journey card. So again, influences. Life is a journey, but look at that. There is 2 distinct paths to go. One is more shadowy, the other is light. And sometimes we walk the bright path, and sometimes we walk the dark path. But they shape us, you know? And sometimes you have to experience everything to know which is right for you. I love even how the clothes are different on each side, and the hair. Again, look at all the Celtic knotwork above his head in the tree. Hey up, Becca. No crumbs on your work surface. Yes, Becca, lots of crumbs on my work surface. But I can be like, no one's here to tell me off. No one's here to scold me for having crumbs after I've sliced my bread. They all wipe up afterward. I love being on my own because I can do what I like, but I ended up remarrying. Yeah, and do you know what? There might come a time in the future where I end up cohabiting again. But for now, I'm enjoying this time, you know? It might always be this way, and that's fine as well because I'm content, I'm happy. But I never say never to anything really because, you know, the future's in the future and we don't know what's in store. So, thought, just like choices informs everything we do, everything starts with a thought, doesn't it? Everything that's ever been created starts with a thought. I just love the masks as well. Again, there's elemental symbols, but look at how beautiful that is. Emotions are our influence. They rarely influence us, don't we? How many times do we lead because of our emotions or react because of our emotions? Oh, powerful card, powerful image. We have desire. Got that song in my head now. Is it desire? Beautiful. Oh, the creatures in that as well. We've got the eagle, the ram, we've got a fish, we've got a dragon. And it says, love having time to myself, so much to do, create, study, find it really hard now to socialize in large group. Any more than 6 seems like hard work. Yeah. I mean, I love going to a coffee shop and chatting with a friend over cuppa, that sort of thing. But I have become a creature of habit, but I'm okay with that. Perception. And, you might think, "Well, what's perception when it's an influence?" But if you think about it, the things are presented in a certain way, and then it's down to us on how we perceive that. Sometimes we are held back because of our perception of something. Well, it could be the opposite. We perceived it to be one way and it was really horrendous. But again, our perception of things is really key in what influences us. Intuition. Um, and there are those who have said over the years, well, I've got Dreams of Gaia and I don't use it as a tarot, I use it as an oracle deck. And that's fine. That's fine. The reason why Raven Phelan says that this isn't an oracle in this sense of what we term oracles to be, and she's calling it a tarot, is because it has a structured system to it. So that's the one thing, I suppose, that kind of sets tarot apart from other oracles, isn't it? An oracle might have some do have systems, but generally, a tarot is made up of court cards, major and minor arcana, and an oracle might follow a particular theme, but it's quite open, really, with keywords and interpretations, or none, which you'll see in my video tomorrow. There's some that have no words or anything. That's the little owl that's off the front of the messenger oracle. So integrity. And then the last one is faith. That's a big one that influences us, isn't it? And it doesn't have to be religious faith. It's faith in human nature. It's faith in the fact that, um, the sun is going to rise in the morning. Faith in things, especially if we have a certain belief in something. So that's the 25 card major arcana. And then we'll go on to the minors, which are the elements. Okay, and they have elemental symbols. I'm just going to split them off into their sets. Look at this. Now, the aces, shall we go in numbers? This is a deck that works well with numerology because the aces are all dragons and they're kind of very much linked to the suit. So we've got a fiery dragon here for our ace of fire. We've got air, okay, and you can see by the symbol at the bottom, so it's a one of air, okay. And then we have our pentacles or coins, what we would call in a traditional tarot. Here it's the earth suit, so one of earth. We get this earthy dragon, and then we have our watery dragon, one of water. So they're gorgeous, but they're dragons. Try and get it where there's no glare, which is proving very difficult with this deck. Been single many years now, married for 16 and enjoy it. We do have each other, have a room each. Oh, I like the idea of that. I do like the idea of that. Okay, so the twos are gorgeous. So our two of fire. Two of air. Look at that. Actually, there's a new feature. I should have done this when I first started showing cards, shouldn't I? Because you can actually make some music. If it gets too annoying, you tell me and I'll turn it off. Two of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Two of Earth. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't know how loud that music is made. It's very soft for me, but if it's too loud and distracting, I'll talk. And the Two of Clubs. Again, you could link that across to RWS when you think of Two of Clubs. Now three, going into the threes now. Got the Three of Fire. It's like Paul going off on a journey, isn't it? But three, you know, that kind of moving in the direction. Music is nice sound. That's good then. Is it not too loud? Because I can turn it up to the volume on it. Wish I put it on at the beginning when I was showing all the cards. Got the Three of Air. Lots of dragons in this deck as well, but that's feeling. My voice is now robotic. If I stop the music, has my voice become normal again? I don't want a robotic voice. It messes with the sound of your voice. Or we'll leave it off. Just give me a thumbs up or a yes if my voice is back to normal now. Maybe it's nice if I'm just doing a silent flip through, I can put that music on. Sounds fine. Okay, perhaps it wasn't for some, but not for others as well. Where was I up to? We're up to halfway through the threes, aren't we? Either way. So there's our three. That looks like Pan. Look at the little squirrel. It's a squirrel. It's got very big ears for a squirrel. Beautiful card. Really gorgeous. Oh, I love it. And then we have the Three of Water. Very masculine energy when it comes to the fours. It's interesting seeing them all together like this rather than going through each suit because, yeah, it's very masculine energy. Here's our, for me, four is about stability, structure. Four of Air. Four of Earth. And Four of Water. Lusty buff people in this deck. Well, the next card is very buff. There's something quite homoerotic about it. This is the Five of Fire. I mean, it's kind of the conflict card, isn't it? When we think of Five of Wands, and he has a fist raised. Better without the music when you're talking. More difficult to hear for anyone with hearing problems. Good to know. Thank you, Butterfly. Okay, so we have our Five of Air, which is really interesting, isn't it? That Five of Air. I need to see what does the book say about the Five of Air? I'll just read it's got a big illustration. That one. The 5 of air. The 5 of air represents a conflict between what is real, that's what it all, what is real and what is believed. It addresses a need for honesty and the courage to let go of a self-deception that is being held onto in order to hide and protect from a painful reality. This painful reality may be one that we choose to deny, but even so, its influence can still create dissonance in our lives and work in a corrosive manner that gives rise to conflicted thoughts, a desire to avoid and procrastinate, and eventual self sabotage of the creative endeavours. It can also manifest in a desire to withdraw and separate ourselves from those who love us. I'm so glad I bought this deck again. So we have our sixes. He looks like a Ming the Merciless type character with long moustache. Six of air. There's lots of these kind of balance cards as well, isn't there? Five of earth. Some playing cards there. Got the ace of spades. Six. Did I say earth for the last one? I meant air. This is the six of earth. And the six of water. And then we have the seven. Sevens. Seven of wands. Oh, he looks like he's giving great counsel. He's got a book of wisdom there. An angel, see the angel wings. That's quite a monochrome card. I love this one. This is one of my favourite cards. The seven of earth is gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, all the chakras are aligned. The tree with lots of different fruits and berries. And, beautiful. She's gorgeous. Very subtle card, that. Beautiful energy. And then we have our eight, the eight of wands, eight of fire. I'm so programmed. Eight of air. My gosh, it's 1/4 past already. Eight of earth. I'm going to go a little bit quicker. Okay. There we go. And eight of water. Not sure what will be someone's fave. Show that. Okay. And then we have our nines. Nine of fire. Nine of air. Earth. And 9 of water. And then the last one in the pips. People talk about wrinkles. I'm not quite sure. I've seen lots of comments about wrinkles. We've got the 10 of fire. Love that. The 10 of air. Ten of Earth. Look at that for abundance. Oh, look at her face. Gorgeous. And the Ten of Water. So it's only really when you see the minors laid out together that you see that they're all orangey and fiery. The earthy ones are all green. Done really, really well. So the courts are a little bit different as well, as I mentioned. So the what would have been the pages that we would think of as the pages, the 11th card, and they do continue with a number, so it's 11, is around balance, okay, that we need on our journey through life. So there is the balance, which is our fire suit, the balance of masculine and feminine. With our air suit, it's the balance between body and mind. That's really important. The mind and the body are interconnected, you know? That's why when we worry and stress too much, we get physical reactions like ulcers and things. They are connected. And then for our earth suit, it's the balance between earth and heaven. Heaven and earth. Beautiful card. And then for the water, water is about our emotions. It's the balance between emotions and intellect. Isn't that cool? So when it comes to the what would have been the knights, we still have kings and queens, by the way. Still got the kings and queens. The knights are the influencing energy, if you like, for the king and the queen. So what influences the king and the queen? So for fire, it's the hero, is the influencer. For air, it's the scribe. For earth, I'm not quite sure how you say that. Seneschal? Seneschal? And for water, it's the counselor. The counselor is the influencer. And then we have our queens. Oh, look at that. The Queen of Wands with a little cat. So Queen of Fire with a cat. Because they're representing the elements that they're associated with. So the Queen of Air has an owl. The Earth has a dragon. At least I think it's a dragon. Not quite sure why that would be Earth. And the water has a crab. Queen has a crab. And then the king, remember, the queen had a cat. The king has a lion for fire. The Queen of Air had an owl. That's our king. The earth has a stag. King has a stag. The seneschal was the steward of the major house back in the medieval days. And the king of water, can't even make that out. It says in the book, king of water. King of water. I mean, the king will represent a strong man who is calm and protective, like a safe harbor in the storm. He is nurturing, caring father, embraces non-gender specific role. He is willing to be both the mother and the father, nurturer and protector, homemaker and provider. As a partner, he is loving and supporting, but gentle, passionate, sensual lover. Um, no, it doesn't say. Yeah, no, not quite sure. Get me magnifying glass. Hard. It's like a little design. I think it's a starfish on top of a Celtic knot design. If I can work it out, it's like a little starfish on top of this Celtic knot design, which is interesting. So there you have it. That's the Dreams of Gaia, a deck that I've repurchased, and I'm glad that I've repurchased it. Um, and whether I use this version or I use the mini pocket version, it's not that mini. I've got this fantastic book that is beautifully written. One of the most easiest and beautiful written books on tarot. I just love it. I love the way she writes. All right, so we are at 21 minutes past. This coffee is going to be stone cold. I think I'm going to pull a card. Shall we pull one from Dreams of Gaia? I'm really challenging myself here, aren't I? I won't use the book. We'll just go with what we go with. Quite a sizable deck as well. I'm hoping it will shuffle okay because it was quite sticky. You're welcome, Emma. Yes, let's see then what we get. A message for us to take away. Message for the collective. What do we need to focus on? I'm happy to have finally seen it. Have you never seen it before, Bill? Hi, Joe. Thanks for coming. You're welcome, Marlene. You're needing some riffles there, Simon, to get them all nice and mixed up. I can't riffle. You know I can't riffle. Oh, shall I go with the one that jumped? It's either jumped or my bad shuffling, but we're going to go with it anyway. Oh, okay. So we've got the Six of Air. So when we think of Six of Air and we think of the traditional, then we think about that scene, you know, with the swords where they're moving away. But what's interesting about this card is there's this real balance. There's this middle position to be in, isn't there? And you know, you've got it's holding a staff here where it's dark on one side, white on the other. It's the opposites. But for me, it's about making the choice about the change. Nothing is ever black and white. You know, there is this middle area. So if we are going to go in a new direction or we are going to venture into uncharted territory, we want to make that step and leave the past behind and go in a new direction. The choices aren't always black and white, you know. We have time now to really be in the present, in the center, and think about what it is that we really want to go for. Which direction do we want to go in? Why do we want to go there? If we are going to leave the past behind, what lessons can we learn from the past and but leave it there? Don't dwell on it. Don't let it rent space in our minds because this is the air suit. You know, just learn from it and what can we take from that? What can we take from that and go in a new direction? And it could be a physical journey. I think this is a bit of a stalker card. Didn't the Six of Swords come up last week? As soon as I said it could be a physical mental journey, I'm like, this card's coming up a lot recently. In fact, is it- yes, starting Monday in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group is the Six of Swords. It is, isn't it? We've just had the Five of Swords. I get mixed up with the weeks. I'm pretty sure the week coming up is the Six of Swords as well. Gorgeous card, but for me, it's about making a choice where and what, and then what are we leaving behind, and then you know, be more positive. Be more positive about the direction that we're going in. We have really got to let go of the past if we're going to move forward into a new direction and go follow new dreams, new goals, new aspirations, new lifestyle choices. Then we've got to embrace it completely, and be more positive, have a more positive outlook. I've done 2 readings for people today, and the Six of Swords has come up both times. Oh yes, it is Six of Swords coming up, and I missed what Shauna said. It's just jumped. Let me have a look. Jumping past, but was it Shauna? No, it was Emma. Oh yes, it is the Six of Swords coming up, and there's that word again, choices. Yeah, exactly. Standing in the centre, the middle way, and thinking that not everything is black and white. There's a spectrum of colour here. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It's been lovely to check in with you. I hope everybody's, having a lovely weekend. I hope you have a great week ahead. If you're watching this back, or even if you're here and you want to leave some comments, not in the chat, but in the comments below, about decks that you've gotten rid of, regretted getting rid of, and ended up rebuying, then let me know what they are. That would be great to see what other decks you've rebought. Thank you, everybody. Look after yourselves and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.